talking about. To beat RRQ, you gotta go for these massive picks. These picks can actually go for just team fights and brawl it out. But unfortunately for them, it's going to be still a battle of execution.
The gods, once again, ladies and gentlemen, who will be crowned the mid-season, the half-season champions? Let's get it to game number 1.
Welcome
Line of Dawn, here we go. And you can see already the spells from the side of Watson K's. Against the Tide Grill, yeah, let's just purify.
A whole lot of greens, man. They really want to go green. DEWA United. 2 revitalizers, I think it was as well, for the Gato Kacha and the Phoveus. Oh, actually, wait, was it? I saw the green. Yeah, this is a Phoveus revitalized. So it's not a Vengeance revitalized. This is new. This is a new combination here. You're going for double healing. Usually you see the high-lows together with the Phoveus actually utilize a revitalized. Very, very interesting stuff. I'm trying to figure out, I guess, yeah, they understand that for RRQ, it's mainly just burst damage they have, right? They're really relying on the full cycle of their skills when they go in. Skylar with his Amon Force, Sutsujin with the Spear of Alpha. Once those 2 big abilities are used up, as long as they were able to sustain back up, they should be able to get the dub.
If we take a look at the emblems here by IndieHome, does anything stand out to you, Mirko?
Just the weapon mastery here, and obviously the vitality. There's a lot of HP. You already have revitalized, and then you get vitality, and you also have the Brave Smite together with the Festival of Blood. That is a whole lot of healing. They are literally just playing to out-sustain RRQ HOSHI in these fights. And again, now I'm actually concerned for RRQ HOSHI. How are they going to be able to out-sustain DEWA United?
That's a big question. I mean, technically, maybe they could play the kiting game with Skylar as well as Alpha, but wait a second. Skylar it looks like he's winning in the lane against Watts, who's on the Lunox.
Yeah, it's a bit of a skill matchup here in this lane, but it does favor the Harith, at least level 3. Then once we get to level 4, it'll be quite difficult for the Harith again.
But back here, ladies and gentlemen, both of these teams are going to be circling around the next neutral objective. We do see both of these teams starting to set up, but Sorizo still needs to clear, and looks like Edok is already in position to make that play.
See here for that neutral objective phase. Edok still level 3, waiting for that level 4. Maybe then he will start to engage with the Flicker Implosion, though. They will take it slow here.
They have to, right? There's no real rush for both these teams. They just have to wait for Edok.
Sacred Hammer on towards 2. That will be all. Dire in the front side here. Glorious pathway to hinder the movement, but in the back side, it's actually going to be Sutsujin taking the turtle. Revitalized pops left and right, but Edok still sustaining damage. Now the damage from the side of the Shadow Kill. Ray will find Edok, maybe no space, but now it's going to be Sorizo. Focuses on towards Siren, but Sutsujin is there. Another kill added for the side of Kings and Kings, and yeah, for now, the gods have to bow down. No, Ray finds the trade. It's still 2 for 1, but yeah, the gods have to bow down to the Kings.
Meanwhile, look at this in the top side. I mean, Skylar is dismantling Watt in the gold lane. So this is a big win, I would say, in the early portion of RRQ's game plan. Them being able to get 2 members from the side of DEWA, and they were also able to pick up that neutral objective. Sutsujin, ever reliable on that retribution play. Let's break that down. What happened and why did RRQ, how were they able to win that one?
RRQ won that just purely because they were much more decisive. They knew they wanted to go for the turtle. DEWA, it looked like half of them wanted to go for the turtle, half of them wanted to just play it safe. Ray got the quad shadow in, decided to utilize it, but then he disengaged himself. Despite the fact that K's already got a big Eternal Guard, if they actually stayed decisive, they utilized their skills properly, that should have been a DEWA win. They were able to out-sustain even with them disconnecting, disconnected completely in the team fight. But for RRQ now, the fact that they have a 1,000 gold lead, that's a Flask of the Oasis, that's a War Axe as well. You don't want to give RRQ the snowball with this kind of composition because you won't be able to out-sustain them later on if they have these damage items and if they have the healing items in Rins.
Yep, that's already the item, the early item power spike, I would say, for RRQ that has been taken for them. But what RRQ also has is the faith from all the casters, apparently, right? Everyone 2-0 for RRQ except for Nevin, 2-1. But still for RRQ, not one caster has voted for DEWA United here. So they really are up against the odds. Talking about the odds now, so Rizzo is actually getting chunked in by Sutsujin.
Oh, yeah. Sutsujin though, terrified. A good Eternal's Guard to poke him down. Edok finds the Flicker Implosion. Now they collapse on towards Ray, who is taken down. Now it's going to be a big fight, but the numbers, they have the numbers, and Kane to the backside will fall to the hands of Skyler, who uses Flicker as well. Now watch, what can he do? 4 members down and out.
The answer is nothing. He can't do anything.
Oh no.
He's trying to clear, but I don't think he can.
Oh no, Purify popped, Order of Brilliance as well. He has the space to get out, but the big turret is weak. Now Rins needs to be careful as the neutral objective will be taken from Sutsujin.
A neutral objective, a tower in the mid lane as well. Almost a wipeout from RRQ, and it's a 4K gold lead, Mirko.
Completely outclassed by RRQ. Man, Edok, what a play on that Tigreal, man. Getting the shove in and then straight into the implosion, reading Ray like an open book. And you can see that the fact that DEWA have been hesitating in a lot of these skirmishes and a lot of the movements that they have, it has given RRQ a decisive team and a decisive roamer like Edok on that initiator so much more room to go for these picks. And yeah, this is a big concern. Early on, I already kind of, brought it up, but the fact that RRQ have a 4,000 gold lead, it was only 1K before that fight, by the way, but it's already enough. Oh, the War Axe already at 1,000 gold lead for the Hylos. Now they'll be able to outsustain DEWA even with the Revitalize because they'll just be able to just shred through everything, and they also have pretty good healing themselves. Great move by Edok, by the way, just going for the components instead of finishing off the items. And it does seem like Edok's going to be engaged on.
Oh, will be forced. Oh my god, the damage will be enough to take Edok down. But what will be the trade as well as Mueza? Now he's stuck, isolated, double for Sky, looking for Triple S. Sorizo receives a lot of damage in the backside. He's a Dyran trying to hold on to his prayers. Sorizo isolated and taken down. RRQ again wins on that fight.
The Queens have been calling, and the answer has been answered here. RRQ again with a victory, a 6K gold lead. And it's so unfortunate, right? Because earlier on in that team fight, Watt was taken down first, and I don't think they had any other anti-regen items, right? Kaze just now has the glowing wand, so hopefully that can help. But again, with them snowballing so out of control, what's the answer now for DEWA? What do they do?
They wait for a mistake from RRQ. That's literally the only thing that they can do with this kind of composition. Either they go for engages again, just constantly gamble around these fights and maybe get a win against RRQ. But again, that's a 6,000 gold lead. They weren't able to beat them with a 4K gold lead, with a 1K gold lead.
Yeah.
And it comes down to the execution for DEWA United. It's very hesitant in a lot of these skirmishes, except for the last one. The last one was more of a, why would you even walk up there, right? With RRQ having a 4,000 gold lead, there was no way they can actually beat anyone, especially with Watt being the one that gets taken down. Skyler has free reign around on the sidelines, and for DEWA, they can't send anyone to match Skyler. He is already at his item power spike at 8 minutes. He already has a Starlium, he already has a Feather of Heaven, and he's building towards that Holy Crystal. Fast timers.
If he gets that Holy Crystal, it's going to be Hail Mary for DEWA United, man. How do they look to go in for the trades? I mean, I guess they do find a little bit of compensation, right? They were able to pick up that tower in the bottom lane. But even Sutsujin alone is able to take down this Lord. And RRQ are now setting it up for themselves. Let's take a look at the audience prediction now. 93% for RRQ, 7% for DEWA United. Even the fan base believes.
Wow, another single digit. Yeah, I mean, RRQ now looking to engage on towards Mueza. Eternal's Guard might have to break the formation. Sutsujin taken out. Now Skyler finds the trade. No, he will fall down now, seeking his system mistake that DEWA United needs, and they are heavily punishing RRQ.
That's the mistake indeed. You overstep, RRQ. Yes, you are 6,000 gold ahead, but you can't just be doing that. This composition is built to brawl still. They can still find advantages through these mistakes. The fact that Sutsujin went in is just so uncharacteristic as well. We know Sutsujin is a cold-blooded killer. When he sees, when he has a 6,000 gold lead, he almost never makes that kind of mistake. So definitely very, very interesting to say the least here. And everybody just try to follow up. Skyler gets melted down as well. Especially in these choke points. Respect DEWA United. Yes, they were very hesitant in the early game, but now that 6,000 gold lead is gone, and that actually plays out to DEWA United's key win conditions pretty well. Lunox is scaling.
Yep, she is. Already has a Divine Glaive as well. We saw that Ray built in the Malefic Roar too. So if they go in one by one like that, if they make engages that way, DEWA United, they do have the answers to it. And they are catching up. A 6K gold lead initially from RRQ has now whittled down to only a 4K gold lead. So DEWA United, they're coming. But it looks like Jiren is as well.
First halfway pops, Mueza soaking a lot of damage. Good taunts there, but on the backside, take a look at the Terrify. Sutsujin in trouble and gets taken out again. DEWA United, they're okay. Skyler now being the next target. Will he be able to duke this one out? Ray receives a lot of damage, but Mueza wasn't able to find the finish. 3 members now down and out.
That was so close. That was so close. Skyler nearly gave up his life there, still able to get out with the help of Rins. And yet another mistake. Was that a mistake? What
Yes.
was the engage faulty for RRQ earlier on?
Absolutely. Jiren was already down to such low HP. He was kited away already by DEWA United. They should have really respected that right after getting the turret. They should have actually backed away. Again, DEWA, in these long team fights, they get the advantage. RRQ needs to win with a big combo. We have to remember what I said early on in the game, right? Sutsujin, Spear of Alpha, Skyler, Zaman Force. Once those 2 resources are used up, it's a big window of opportunity for DEWA. The fact that we haven't been able to see that mistake is because RRQ have been in the lead for so long. They got a 1,000 gold lead early on, and then it built up to 4K, therefore leaving DEWA in a tough spot. But because of that one mistake from Sutsujin, it has led to what? To get some of these big items. Like you said, Divine Glaive. That is a massive item against this kind of composition, and he's already built to beat the Harith and the Hylos. You can get shredded down. On top of that, it's Orizo jumping back and forth, and it's also some physical damage. RRQ need to play discipline. No more mistakes from now, because DEWA, if they get back to even footing, like I said, they're better in the brawls.
Sutsujin right now is a level ahead of Ray, though, so that is still something that RRQ is holding on to. And the fact that they do have the Angela, they can look for the setup on the counter side, right on the far lane. The Angela is pushing there. But wait a second, is this an engage happening?
Jiren, half HP, still looking to soak in damage. Also give out info. Bottom side is actually favoring RRQ, so they can take their time here, and that is what they're doing. In DEWA United, they are looking deprived from info. They need info on the whereabouts, like Edok, who hasn't really shown his presence now. Concealed play on towards the backside. He's looking to find space. Glorious pathway in the backside. Actually, Jiren gets bursted down now. It's going to be all out fighting. Ray fires the Ray Tribution. Whereas that gets taken out though. Now Ray looking for the double. Will he get the triple? Watch. Taken out as well. Rins caught isolated, but he finally gets the triple. Now Sutsujin will find the trade, and it will be still DEWA United with the Lord marching in the mid lane.
What happened? A 3-for-3 trade, but it looks like DEWA are going to be able to pick up the turret. Wait a second.
So Rizzo, this is not the way to do it. Sutsujin finds an extra kill, and that will neutralize the situation.
They're going to lose this turret in the mid lane, but they should be able to protect their inner turrets. But again, that was definitely not the best way for RRQ. And look at the gold lead just completely dismantle, just disappear.
Yeah, now we're in a very tough spot for RRQ Hoshi. That is a holy crystal for the Lunox. It is much more of a power spike for Watt than it is for Skyler. Despite the fact that Skyler is level 15, the fact that Lunox, someone, even Watt, you know, who's been behind the entire game, has now gotten these item power spikes, it is going to put RRQ in a very, very troublesome spot because, again, even for Chorizo and Mueza, they're slowly but surely getting to those big, chunky items to deal with RRQ's damage. You can see it earlier as well. Skyler, in comparison to Juan and even Ray, can't really withstand that damage.
It looks like Skyler built in the wishing lantern for the Harith.
Not a big fan, personally, right? Especially, but maybe they're really just relying on the instant burst potential. They want to go in, delete someone, and then look for something else. I would have preferred I don't know, at this point, for Skyler, let me take a look at his items again. Blood Wings, right? Sometimes you go for the Blood Wings. You could even go for Divine Glaive.
I think it's safer, right?
Yeah.
Because if he's the one that's going to be going in and out, weaving in and out of these team fights. And you mentioned, right, in a long-term team fight, RRQ are kind of at a disadvantage. Then why not go for an item that can help you win it out in those long-term skirmishes?
Exactly, but it does seem like both teams are actually going to rely on pure burst because Not only is it Skyler on the Wishing Lantern, Kaze has actually bought the Wishing Lantern too. Now he wants to try to outburst the Burster in Skyler. It is the Wishing... Even though we don't see Juicin, it's banned out, we still get to see a little bit of Juicin with the Wishing Lantern here. But yeah, again, for RRQ, now it gets tough because their composition is built to team fight. Their composition is built to look for moments. DEWA too, and DEWA does it a bit better in my opinion. They can utilize the side waves, but even then, Skyler... He was able to control the side lanes because he was so far ahead of Watt. Now that it's back to almost even, Watt should be able to deal with him 1v1 or even 1v2 with Rinz's Heart Guard.
I agree. Watt now also has the Blood Wings to really help him in these team fights as well. And he's been doing really great, right? Being able to go, like, one of the main things that we saw that was a big problem for Watt was the fact that he always overcommits, but with the way that he's been weaving out and weaving in these team fights, it has been showing something completely different, but it looks like Skyler picked up the Blood Wings as well.
There you go. So no Divine Glaive. That's a sacrifice he made, and you can see that damage piling up.
Spear of Alpha. Got that catch-up. Finds the play in the backside. Now they will collapse. Oh, Edok! He will find the big implosion, though. He will be bursted down alongside with Dyron. Sutsujin falls as well. Another win for Watts. And that will be Skyler. And Rinz just left alone. Lord is all DEWA united again.
They did it again. 3 members taken out for the price of 1. They're going to be able to pick up this Lord as well in the 16th minute of the game. And they did the exact same thing from RRQ, right? It looked like they all wanted to go back into the team fight. They were clumped up and they didn't respect how much DEWA had. That AoE damage is definitely there, and so they were picked off 1 by 1.
You have to see the window, the timing as well. Now it's a 16th minute of the game. The window for RRQ to end the game was around 13 to 15, I would say. 15 being very, very generous too. The fact that they had 6,000 gold lead, they should have been able to end the game at 12, perhaps with the first enhanced Lord. But the fact that they threw earlier with Sutsujin, that becomes the bane. Twice, thrice maybe you could even say, because taking these fights in the Turtle, or the Lord Pit rather, is literally suicide up against DEWA United's comp.
Is this the push that will decrease the chance of RRQ? Lord taken care of. Let's see. Will DEWA United be aggressive? Seems like they will take their time here. They didn't really manipulate their ways properly.
Mueza has been finding amazing opportunities though for his team, right? Every time they get a successful team fight, it's on the back foot of Mueza's big play. And RRQ constantly fall for it, right? They don't have any purifiers, so it's very difficult for them to maneuver. Let's see if Mueza is going to be able to get another opportunity here. Looks like they don't, but that inhibitor turret in the mid lane will fall for DEWA United today.
Yeah, I'm not a fan, by the way, of the item path here for Dyron, actually. Because it does feel like, I personally feel like they already have enough anti-regen. With Rinz building it, he's always going to be present in these team fights. With Edok there as well with the Dominance Ice, Dyron should have maybe focused more on getting defensive items rather than the utility in the Dominance Ice. And because he got the Athena Shield very late, I think that, yeah, by the way, his build right now is Athena Shield and also they got that armor. So just pure magic defense, right? So with the magic defense, if he got that earlier, they would have actually been able to soak in much more of the damage coming in from DEWA. Remember, Sorizo, Watt, Kaze, they're all dealing magic damage, but because he had to stop himself from getting the Athena by just buying the Dominance Ice first, it left him quite vulnerable to a lot of the magic damage. Because again, you need the Athena here on top of already, you need more. You need that Athena Shield passive as well to actually be able to withstand the burst coming in from Kaze.
I think that does make sense, right? Because look at that. With just that, with the damage coming in from Watt as well as Kaze, he already gets chunked down to half health. And we saw that happening in the second play that they lost earlier on from RRQ when he went in with the Glorious Pathway and the Law and Order in the bottom lane where they threw it. But now, 19 minutes in, what are the adjustments, right? What can RRQ do to pull back onto that momentum and make their game again?
It is really, really tough. I guess utilize the Angela in the sideways, try to make a slow push happen, force DEWA to split up, and then look for a 4v5. That is maybe the only key. And for Edok, he needs to go for the picks, but at this point, it's going to be very difficult. Ray will always be waiting in the back. He's an assassin anyways, and all the other members that look vulnerable aren't really vulnerable because they have the Purify. And even if the Angela goes to the side lane and, you know, forms these slow pushes, I don't think it's going to be threatening enough to actually, for DEWA to actually like fully respect it, for them to actually send Ray up top, because they still have that base turret there. And Chorizo can just look for a fight whenever he wants to.
RRQ, they need to bank on the mistake or mistakes of DEWA United here. And DEWA United, they need to stay composed while controlling the map. Top lane is slowly pushed, but now they want to commit on towards a fight! The Watts bursts, one down, it's gonna be Edok losing his mortality, and that will be DEWA United winning on towards Tywin as well. He was terrified, but Chorizo stanking the damage. Tyler bursting him down with the flicker. It will not save him, and Rins and Edok, being the sole members, are still alive. DEWA United, they're still standing with 5. This is going to be the final push. Can Rins and Edok make it? The midway crashing down. Edok, no implosion, no flicker. What can he do? Turret lock indeed, and the base will fall. If he challenged the gods, he will have to do more.
The 0% win rate of this lineup has been broken. Today, Watt breaks it. Today, Keys breaks it. And they fight for another day. They are showing, they're putting RRQ, they're testing the limits.